Hey gang, Tony here with another weekly movie roundup. This is going to be a pretty quick one. I have a short list this week, as I haven't really had time to watch the movies that I want to watch. So, first up, we have Dead Before Dawn, which is a Netflix instant streaming movie, and probably a pretty good movie if you want a horror comedy to kill time with. It wasn't the best, but Christopher Lloyd is in it, which is, I think, if I remember correctly, the only reason I watched it. I saw Christopher Lloyd, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll watch it. Which is probably the worst way to choose movies, but hey, what are you going to do? There were a lot of kind of like little allusions and things to other horror movies, and it was definitely tongue-in-cheek. Definitely a jokey comedy, more comedy than horror. Maybe not horror at all, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you're just really looking for something silly to watch while maybe drinking and talking to friends and stuff. You don't have to pay that much attention to it, to be honest. So there you go, Dead Before Dawn. Next up is Best Man Down. This is also Netflix instant streaming. And I enjoyed this movie, although it did have kind of a little more drama than I was expecting, considering the actors that are in it. Justin Long is in it, and Tyler Labine is in it, and there are a couple other people I recognize, but I can't remember who they are at the moment. This was it kind of seemed like, at first it seemed like it was going to be a dark comedy, but it definitely kind of departs from that as you go through the movie. There are two people that are going to get married at a destination wedding, and the best man dies during the wedding. That's not, sorry, I'm not spoiling anything. That's like at the very beginning of the movie. And the rest of the movie is kind of like learning who he was and what was going on with him and why he died and what he had been up to for the previous months, because the friends didn't really keep in touch, I guess, that closely with him. So pretty good movie. I'd say maybe like a 7, maybe 6.5 out of 10. Definitely worth a watch if you like Justin Long, if you like Tyler Labine, if you're into sort of like dramedy sort of deals. That's kind of where I place that one. Next up is Late Phases, Night of the Lone Wolf. This was recommended to me by someone, I'm sorry, I forget who. You can kind of shout out in the comments if you want to tell me it was you. But I really do dig werewolf movies, but I'm also always kind of hesitant because they could be done so poorly, and I always hope that there's something worth watching. So Late Phases is a departure sort of from other werewolf movies in that there's a long stretch through the middle of the movie where you would be hard-pressed to know that you're really even watching a horror movie or a werewolf movie. There's a lot of kind of like drama and stuff going on in the middle. The beginning and the end are where most of the action is taking place regarding werewolves. And the reason that is because this is kind of why I say it's a departure. Most werewolf movies are in a big rush to get back to the full moon so that, you could do the werewolf stuff. This movie starts with the full moon, like near the beginning, and then the bulk of the movie is actually the month in between the two phases of the moon. And then near the end, there's a full moon again, and we get kind of to the climax of the film. It's about a Vietnam vet who can't see, he's blind, and his wife had just died, and his son is kind of bringing him to this place to live. It's not really an old age home, it's like a community, but you get the feeling that it's an old age community. It's kind of like a gated community. And there's this crazy vicious attack that occurs on basically his first night there, and from there, I don't want to say any more to ruin the movie, but from there a lot of stuff is revealed and things happen. Obviously things happen. If things didn't happen, it would be a really bad movie. So the practical effects in this were pretty outrageous. It was not relying on CGI. There was a lot of practical effects. In fact, I even watched the FX featurette that came on the disc, which was a lot of fun. They showed a lot of like the creation of the werewolf costumes and all that stuff. And I was really happy about that. I thought it was a decent transformation. That's kind of like my thing too, is how is the transformation, right? That's what we want to know. I thought it was worth the wait in the film to see the transformation. Not the best in the world, but also, I mean, at least it was practical effects, so I'm giving them props for that. The design of the werewolf, to me, was somewhere in between contemporary werewolf design and like a Wolfman design from Universal Monster Wolfman sort of deal. So they kind of, they seem to get a nice strike of balance between those two designs, which I thought was pretty cool. I won't say that it's my favorite werewolf design ever, but it was definitely, you know, an interesting take on it. So I like that. Overall, I would say probably about a 7 out of 10-ish. It does drag a little bit, and some of the acting is a little ham-fisted. It's a little, but overall, it was definitely worth a watch. I probably am even going to watch it again. So I do recommend that one. And finally, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Oh, sorry, Late Phases I rented through Netflix. So it was a DVD disc, it's not on streaming. And then Night of the Museum, Secret of the Tomb was a Redbox rental. I believe that just came out this previous week. I'm sure I'm not really, honestly, I don't read reviews or anything, so I'm not sure what the climate is in terms of Ben Stiller as an actor or comedian, or Ben Stiller movies, or Night at the Museum, or how people feel about those. But I'm a fan of Ben Stiller for the most part. I've liked most of what he's done over the years, and I do like the Night at the Museum movies. You know, they're good family comedies. They're pretty funny for the most part. They're fun to watch. I don't have anything against them, and this was a good entry into the trilogy. I thought they kind of wrapped things up kind of nicely, while leaving it open if they wanted to come back and do more of them, maybe without Ben Stiller. But I don't know if that was a plan or not. But it kind of seems like they could do that. And yeah, I would recommend, if you're in for a lighthearted family comedy, it's a good one. I'm not gonna rate it, but it's a fun movie. And that does it for me for the week. I told you, not many. I've been watching a lot of whenever I'm kind of in busy doing something, I'll put Sliders on, which is getting pretty bad at this point. I'm into like the end of the 3rd season, and this is where, I mean, it's hit or miss for the majority of the show, kind of, but now it's getting pretty bad. So I've been kind of like half watching these episodes, and I did watch a full season of Garfunkel and Oates, because, it's Garfunkel and Oates. Why not? It's fun. And yeah, that's about it for the week. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you're watching. What have you been watching, guys? I want to know. Give me some recommendations. Tell me what you think I should watch. For this coming week, I'm definitely going to be watching The Voices with Ryan Reynolds. I have a couple other films that were sent to me that Joe, your geeky neighbor, sent, that I have on DVD, other things I want to rent. So next week might be a little bit more packed. All right, everybody, breathe deep in the night, and I'll check you soon. Bye.